100% Chelsea. Chelsea 3, Derby County 2 in the EFL, Carabao, Coca-Cola, Carling Cup, whatever you want to call it, all 4-1. Considering we got own goal from Tamori, an own goal from Richard Keogh, and basically they kind of scored all the goals. But for us, obviously Fabregas scored as well. And today, it was questionable. It wasn't the greatest performance. Obviously other people are happy. It was shit, wasn't it? It wasn't great. It wasn't great. But look, it wasn't great, but we got the result. It's one of those. So we won. This is the positive, and I'm going to sandwich it in between another positive, so that way you can't call me a cunt. So, actually, you know what, you probably still will, to be honest. But at the end of the day, look, Chelsea came in today, and defensively, you know, regardless of the opposition, that's not good enough. You know, obviously Derby, I don't want to call Derby, they're just a championship team and all that kind of stuff. Because guess what? They came here today, they played some brilliant, aggressive attacking football, and they nearly got the result. In fact, they probably should have done. You know, Mason Mount hit the post. They had a couple of other opportunities which they just didn't quite seize because of a trip or because of a heavy touch. And to be honest, they played well. They played better than us. We got a couple of lucky deflections and we scored a decent goal. But if you go through the back line, Zappacosta and Cahill's just passed it. Zappacosta he plays more like a winger than he does a right back. And to be honest, Andreas Christensen, look, I love the lad to pieces. Last season I was saying I'd love him to potentially become the club captain in a few years' time. He has the capabilities. He's a superb centre half, great ball player, great distributor. You know, he's a physical presence as well, and he reads the game brilliantly. But this season, I don't know where that's all gone. And instead of him, his dad are running his mouth in the press. Tonight you could see why he was brought off, one, and secondly, why he is not in the higher up the pecking order. He's 22 years old. He's got a lot of time on his hands. That's fine. Maximise that time. If he's not going to be playing part of the squad, let's line him out again. Let's give him to some opposition or another club which, you know, he can nurture it and become a far better defender. And he's not a bad one already, but he's just not quite good enough at the minute. He's not. Cahill, like we said, has just passed it, and Emerson, again, great going forward, but defensively, both our fullbacks on the left-hand side, for me personally, aren't quite up to it defensively completely. Fabregas is another player who's passed it, and I've been asking people the question of, you know, if he was to go, would you consider Mount as part of the squad? After tonight's performance, yeah, I would. I'd even consider Mount potentially someone who could walk into the first 11. But obviously he's not going to get that opportunity. I think he maybe needs a stint abroad. I'd like to see him go to the Bundesliga. We've seen what's happened with Jadon Sancho. We've seen what's happened with Christensen as well before he even came back to Chelsea at Mönchengladbach. They nurture young talent there very well, and potentially a move abroad could be good for him. Or if Derby come up, maybe sticking with Derby and Frank Lampard, because obviously Frank Lampard has been absolutely amazing for him. And now let's move on to the man himself. Frank Lampard came home. I put a tweet out and some picture on Instagram of, you know, me and Frank Lampard at the best it was last year, and I think for me personally, before we came to the game, me and Jordan spent the day together. You know, we were talking about it, getting excited. We were having lunch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were already talking about it and getting gassed. And I felt like a kid again. You know, this guy who came to Chelsea gave me so many memories growing up. The one thing that always, you know, comes to mind for me was before a game, obviously when the players were warming up, he'd kind of do this strafe up to Matthew Harding, run and clap, and then walk away. And for me, obviously he didn't do that today because he's not playing, but just to see him make that walk to Matthew Harding again, it was an emotional day for me. You know, as a 20-year-old lad, you know, I grew up and I was very fortunate to grow up with, you know, the likes of Lampard, Terry, Drogba, Petr Cech, Ashley Cole, these amazing players we had at our club. And to see Frank Lampard taking those steps and becoming a manager and doing so well along with Jody Morris, it's an absolutely amazing feat. And, you know, credit to them at Derby, and the credit to Derby fans today, because they were absolutely superb. And there's no slating them. They are a brilliant side today. Very unfortunate not to win. And the fans themselves, well, I'd say probably they're the best home away fan support I've seen at the Bridge this year, without a shadow of a doubt. Scott said it as well, and I completely agree with him. But a very emotional day here at Chelsea Football Club. Very emotional day for everyone here at the channel. Frank Lampard's return. Obviously Chelsea won 3-2 at the end of the day. We're playing Bournemouth in the next round. And obviously we're saying Crystal Palace at the weekend. But other than that, guys, listen, thank you very much for all your support over the past few months. It's been, you know, I think as soon as this game was announced, we were very excited. And you know, it's a big year for us, and obviously it was a big in terms of this game as well. It was an absolutely amazing one to be a part of and to say that I was there for. And hopefully Lewis with the vlog, Scott with his and Jack with their player ratings. Hopefully we've given you a bit of insight into the game today, as well as Lawrence and his review and his preview. But guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea. All social links are down in the description for Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram. Obviously make sure you check out my personal socials as well. They'll be down in the description. And take care, and we'll see you at Palace.